New barbers, do you know how many haircuts you should be aiming to do every single day? Because this is never explained to anybody. We just go there, we cut hair. We don't know how many haircuts we should be doing. What's the good amount? What's too much? What's too little? Well, today I'm going to tell you all things about the minimum amount of numbers you should be doing and why that should be the number. And for those who do not know me already, my name is Mark McIver, and this is the SliderCuts podcast, where I talk all things barbering, business, and in between. What is the amount that any new barber should be aiming to cut every single day? I'm not going to keep it in expense. Let me just tell you straight away. 7. 7 is the minimum amount that you should be aiming to do on a normal working day. Now, let me explain. A normal working day is an 8-hour day with a 1-hour break, meaning that you should be working for 7 hours in that day. The reason why I say 7 haircuts is because for every hour that you work, you should be cutting at least one person. Whether you do haircuts in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour. You should be doing one haircut at least for every hour that you're working. So when you're a new barber and you're thinking to yourself, well, how many haircuts should I be doing? 7. Now, this isn't the maximum, because I put this on social media the other day, and some people were saying, well, that's not enough. I'm not saying that 7 is enough. I'm saying that 7 is the amount that you should aim for at minimum. Because for every hour that you're working, you should be working. Look at it like this. Imagine working in a retail store or a supermarket. Every hour that you're working, you are doing something, whether that is stacking shelves, putting food out, serving clients, folding clothes, you are doing something. So as a barber, you should be aiming that every hour that you're working, you should be cutting hair of some sort. And even if you're not cutting hair, at least at the end of the day, you should be able to look and say, okay, 7 haircuts, cool. So for each hour that I worked, I did 1 client. Now this is just a guide. This is not no kind of like full-blown kind of like factual thing where it's like there's a science behind it. No, this is just something I think you should aim for. Now, should you do more? Definitely. How many do I do in a day? Well, I work longer than, well, no, actually I'm lying. Some days I work longer than 7 hours. On some days I don't. So today is Tuesday when I'm filming this, and I worked from 5 a.m. till about 9 a.m. And I can't remember how many haircuts I did. Probably about 7, 8 in that time. Yeah, around that. So when I work like a 4-hour day, I'm doing about 8 haircuts because I cut 30-minute slots. And also, a lot of times I squeeze clients in. So if I've got, let's say, like a 4-hour day or 5-hour day, whatever it is, let's just say it's a 5-hour day because I'm doing like just a short day because it's the summer holidays. I work early, then go be with my children and so on. I can squeeze 10 people in. But a lot of times I end up squeezing 1 or 2 clients. So 10 people plus 1 or 2, it might end up being like 11 or 12 in like a 5-hour slot. Now, there's other barbers which are cutting quicker than that, so they can even do more. So I'm not saying that this is kind of like the maximum we should aim for. I'm just saying as a minimum, it's a good guideline to aim for as a baseline. And that's the reason why I think barbers should aim for that. Just so you know that every hour that you're working, you are actually working, and then aim to do more. Now also on top of this, there's going to be the anomalies. Like there may be some barbers out there, and I know of them, should I say, who take things like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes on a haircut, and they charge a lot more. So that in their head, they're thinking to themselves, well, why am I going to do like 7 clients? I don't need to do 7 clients. I'm happy with doing 4 or 5 clients because I'm going to charge £200 if you're in America, dollars, or wherever you are in the world, But the barbers who I've seen do this, to be honest, are in America. So they may be charging things like $500 for a haircut, but they're doing it over a period of like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So for them, it's like, no, I'm going to get less clients, but charge a lot more. So I don't need that many clients. If they're charging between $250, $300 and $500, they don't need that many clients. So I'm not talking to the anomaly barbers. I'm talking about the average barber who is out there, who's charging. I don't even know what the regular price is nowadays. I guess the regular price for a haircut nowadays ranges anything from probably about, in the UK anyway, like averagely I'll probably say £15 to £30 somewhere. average. So based off the regular barber, that's where I got this figure of 7 haircuts. But to be honest, I think you should be doing more, because in another video I'll talk to you about it. When you actually work out how much you actually make, you start realizing that I either need to charge more or I need to be cutting more hair, because most people do not even know what barbers take home. To be honest, I think a lot of barbers don't even realize what they take home because they don't do correct calculations and they don't do correct expenses. So they're like, okay, how much does a haircut cost? And it's like, okay, they're charging £25 for a haircut. And in their head, they make £25 a haircut. And it's like, no, you bring in £25 a haircut, but you do not take home £25 a haircut. Because by the time you minus either your percentage split that you give to the barbershop or the rent that you pay that you give to the barbershop, your travel to work, your lunch, the clothing you wear, your tools, and so on, and you minus that over the year and work out how many haircuts you've actually done, then when you kind of like do the subtractions and not multiplications, multiply the amount of haircuts you do, subtract all the expenses, and then divide the rest of it over the amount of haircuts you've done that year, then you'll get a more accurate figure. And sorry, how can I miss this out? After you do all those subtractions, the taxes you pay as well. And then what you're left with will tell you what you actually take home per haircut. And then when you work that figure out, then you can actually even say to yourself, actually, based off what I pay, and now say, based off what I charge, actually, maybe I shouldn't be charging £25 or £15 or £10 or £20 or £30. Maybe I should be charging £35 or £30. Or if you're going from £10, maybe you should be charging £20. Whatever it is, but that's the figure you actually need to work out. And in another video, I'm going to help you break that down, give you like the calculations and the guidance of how you actually do this to work out actually how much you take home for each haircut. And then that will help you to actually charge correctly for the life that you want to live and how much you want to be taking home every year, every week, every month, every day, every hour, but worked out how much you're taking home every year. And that will be the best way. But that won't be this video. Just for this video as a baseline for new barbers, I'm just saying, aim for a basic line of 7 haircuts a day. And do not stop there. Once you get to that point there, then start being like, okay, cool. If I'm spending 45 minutes an hour on each haircut, okay, I can squeeze in more clients. Actually, I should be maybe also even dropping down the times. If I'm spending an hour on a haircut, how do I get it down to 50 minutes so I can squeeze in more? If I'm spending 45 minutes on a haircut, how can I get that down to 40 minutes or 40 or 35 minutes so I can get in more clients? Because barbering can be a very lucrative career, definitely. But you need to work on the business side first. And to work on the business side, you need to first of all work out how much you're actually taking home. And you need to also work out how do I maximize my potential and maximize my output in the barbershop. So some people may say, oh, but not everyone can cut at 30 minutes. If you train, and work on it, you most likely can. I'm not saying every single person in this world can, but I'm saying for the majority of people, you can. It's like saying that people who are athletes can't get faster, can't get stronger. That's the same thing I hear when people say barbers can't get quicker at cutting hair. Yes, you can. You can get quicker at cutting hair and keep the same standard. It's the same way that you can get quicker at running and keep good technique. You can get stronger without having to do anything like take illegal substances. Yes, you can. So people who say that you can't, that's the stoppage in your life. Don't put it on other people. Because barbers, trust me, you can. I've seen barbers come in who are taking an hour and a half on a haircut, which are now doing half-an-hour haircuts. And they're better, and the haircuts are better now than they were when they were an hour and a half. So yes, you can. It just takes time, takes patience, and it takes training. But that is it for the SliderCuts Barber Business Podcast, where I talk all things barbering, business, and in between. And let me let you into something. I'm still trying to work out what the name of this podcast should actually be. So at the moment, it's the Barber Business Podcast. Sometimes I say the SliderCuts Podcast. I'm still working it out. So if you guys got any ideas, please let me know. And I'll leave you on that note. See you next week. Peace.